Spring Break is a silly, poorly reviewed 1980s horn dog comedy. The film was released on March 25, 1983, and it was a surprise success, earning more than $24 million against a $1 million budget. Meet the crew. Let's talk about who made this wild ride possible. Directing and producing is none other than Sean S. Cunningham. You probably know him from Friday the 13th. The script comes from David Smilo, who clearly gets what Spring Break shenanigans are all about. Here's the awesome cast. David Nell plays Nelson, Perry Lang is Adam, Paul Land shows up as Stu, and Steve Bassett is OT. For some fun on the beach, Jane Modian stars as Susie. You'll also spot Corinne Alphen, Donald Symington, Richard B. Shull, and a bunch more faces popping up throughout the movie. What's it about? All right, picture this. Two nerdy college dudes, Nelson and Adam, pack their bags for Fort Lauderdale and expect a chill vacation, but end up sharing their hotel room with two total party animals, Stu and OT. Of course, that means the Breeze and Seas Motel turns into ground zero for parties, girls, and pranks. As if things couldn't get any crazier, Nelson's stepdad Ernest, who's got big political dreams by the way, sends a tough guy named Eddie to drag him back home and even tries to shut down the Wild Hotel. But Nelson's not backing down. After a legendary beer and whipped cream showdown, he stands up to the old man, saves the hotel, and earns his freedom, and maybe a little romance. Nelson's mum finally dumps Ernest, and yeah, chaos pretty much wins the day. Lights, camera, Florida. This whole Spring Break circus was filmed right in Fort Lauderdale, mostly at the iconic Marlin Beach Hotel, aka the Breeze and Seas, plus local bars, parks, beaches, and even a yacht, because why not? With a budget of about $4.5 million and a box office haul of $24 million, let's just say people were ready to escape to the beach. It dropped in March 1983, perfect timing for everyone dreaming about, or actually on, Spring Break. Tunes that defined an era. If you love vintage vinyl, you'll want this soundtrack. Warner Brothers put it out, with Side A featuring Spring Break by Cheap Trick, and tracks by Gerard McMahon, Jack Mack and the Heart Attack, and a few other totally 80s bands. Side B, just as fun, with NRBQ, Hot Date, Big Spender and more tunes to give your party the right vibe. And you'll hear Caught Up in You by 38 Special in the film, not on the album. The critics and the fans, yeah, so the reviews were not stellar. Roger Ebert called it a horny teenager movie and basically roasted it for all the typical goofy stuff. Rotten Tomatoes, a whopping 22% positive. IMDb folks gave it a 4.9 with thousands chiming in. But hey, not everyone hated it. Some fans totally get the appeal. Charming Fort Lauderdale Spring Break film from 1983. Mindless spring break fun, but with a difference. Others, not so much. Just a forgettable early 80s comedy. You decide, wait, there's a mystery. Here's something wild. The bikini-clad model on the poster, Tammy Lynn Leppert, vanished for real right after the movie came out. She was 18, a model, and never seen again. Creepy, right? She's only in the movie for a blink, but her silhouette is all over the poster. Sunscreen, shenanigans, and Spring Break 1983 is pure 80s beach comedy. Sunburns, flirting, rebel teens, and a bunch of parents trying and failing to keep things under control. It's not exactly a masterpiece, but it's a cult classic for anyone who loves that wild, weird era. From the wild music to the crazy subplots to a real-life mystery, if you're into vintage comedies, this one's worth a look. So grab your shades and crank up the jams. Time to hit the beach, 80s style.